The snow had been falling since morning, the kind of soft, steady snowfall that looked like the sky was gently exhaling. Ariel Winters stepped out of the taxi and onto the familiar curb, pulling her coat tight as the cold wrapped around her like an old memory. The street glittered with Christmas lights, warm gold, soft red, strings of green draped from lamppost to lamppost. A wreath hung on every door. Every window glowed. It was beautiful. And it hurt a little. She stood still for a moment, breathing in the scent of snow, pine, and the faint sweetness of cinnamon coming from the bakery down the street. She had forgotten how the whole town smelled like Christmas during December. Forgotten? Or chosen not to remember. Her suitcase wheels whispered against the snow as she made her way toward the little white house at the end of the street, her childhood home. She hadn't walked this road in 10 years, but every step felt familiar. As she passed the decorated storefronts, she noticed people in thick coats and scarves strolling slowly, their laughter floating softly in the air. A group of children ran past her. Soft giggles. Tossing handfuls of snow into the air. A couple walked hand in hand under the lights. Someone carried a bag filled with wrapped gifts. Life here moved gently. Ariel swallowed hard and kept walking. When she reached the front porch, she stopped again. The porch lights glowed warmly. A small Christmas tree was visible through the window. A wreath with little gold bells hung on the door. The bells chimed softly as the wind touched them. She hadn't been home for Christmas since she was 18.
He paused in the doorway, coat still in hand, as though he wasn't expecting to see her there. Not yet, not like this. His voice was quiet, soft enough not to disturb the peaceful room. "Ariel?" The sound of her name in his voice unlocked something deep and old inside her. Warm. Painful, undeniably familiar. She swallowed. "Hi, Noah." He offered a gentle nod, not cold, not warm, just steady. "I brought your mother's medicine," he said softly to her mom. "Pharmacy was running slow tonight." Her mother smiled, always too aware. "Thank you, Noah. You're a lifesaver." He nodded again, then turned slightly toward Ariel, eyes lingering just long enough for her to feel the weight of 10 silent years between them. "I didn't know you were coming home," he said softly. "Neither did I," she whispered. The room went quiet, not tense, just full. Full of everything they never said. Her mother looked between them with a knowing softness, but said nothing. Finally, Noah gently placed the bag on the counter. "I should let you both rest." His voice remained calm, steady, polite, painfully polite. "Welcome home, Ariel." He gave her one more glance, one that almost felt like a memory passing between them, and then slipped back out into the falling snow. The bells on the wreath jingled softly as the door closed behind him. Ariel didn't move for a long moment. Her mother placed a gentle hand on her arm. "You two have a lot to talk about." Ariel exhaled slowly. "Yeah, we do." Outside, snow drifted quietly across the streetlights, covering the footprints Noah left behind. And somewhere deep inside her, something long buried stirred.
The next morning arrived with soft sunlight breaking over frosted rooftops, turning the whole street into something that looked almost painted. Bright, cheerful, and full of gentle sparkle. Ariel woke to the smell of cinnamon and ginger drifting through the house. For the first time in years, she felt something close to peace. She wrapped a blanket around her shoulders, stretched, and stepped into the hallway. Her mother was already up, humming softly in the kitchen. Christmas music played low, a classic tune, warm and familiar. "Morning, sweetheart," her mother said, stirring a pot of oatmeal. "You hungry?" Ariel smiled softly. "Starving." And she was, the good kind of hungry, the kind that only comes when things inside you begin to settle. She took a seat at the kitchen table, noticing the morning sun hitting the ornaments on the little tree. Everything glowed with that soft holiday magic she'd forgotten she missed. Her mother set a bowl in front of her. "I thought maybe you'd sleep in today." Ariel stirred her spoon through the oatmeal. "Couldn't, too much on my mind." Her mother didn't ask what or who. She didn't have to. There was a comfortable silence for a moment, until the doorbell chimed, cheerful and bright. Her mother raised an eyebrow. "I wonder who that could be this early." Ariel peeked through the window. Her stomach fluttered. Noah stood on the porch, bundled in a warm coat, holding a large box with red ribbon. Snowflakes clung to his curls. The morning light made everything around him look even softer than last night. Her mother grinned. Oh, goodness! That boy wakes up before the sun, I swear." Ariel rolled her eyes, but she couldn't hide the small smile tugging at her lips. She opened the door, and cold air rushed in along with the fresh scent of snow. "Noah," she said, trying to sound casual. "You're up early." He gave her a small, warm smile, more real than anything he'd given last night. "I'm always up early." He lifted the box slightly. "Town donation drop-off. Your mom signed up to help with the holiday packages again. I thought I'd get these over here before I went to work." She blinked. "You still volunteer for all that?" He shrugged lightly. "Someone's got to do it." Then he added, almost shyly, "Plus, your mom makes the best peppermint cocoa." From behind Ariel, her mother called, "Don't flatter me unless you want a second cup." Ariel chuckled softly. Ariel stepped aside. "Come in, before you freeze."
He walked inside, boots soft against the rug, bringing with him a fresh, outdoorsy scent. Pine, cold air, something warm underneath. He placed the box gently on the counter and glanced around, smiling at the decorations. "House looks beautiful," he said. Ariel's mother lit up. "Ariel helped me finish the garland last night." Noah turned to her, eyebrow raised slightly. "You remembered how to hang it." She laughed softly. "Some skills never leave you." There was an easy energy now, lighter, brighter, like the 10 years between them were softening at the edges. Her mother clapped her hands. "All right, you two, I need someone to help deliver these to the community hall. I can't carry them with my shoulder. Noah, grab that coat rack of yours. Ariel, get your boots." Ariel blinked. "Wait, both of us?" Her mother smiled sweetly. "Well, of course, they need 2 sets of hands." Then she added in a whisper, only Ariel heard, "Christmas works better with company." Ariel tried not to smile. Noah glanced at her with a polite tilt of his head. "I mean, if you don't mind spending part of your morning freezing outside with me." Her heart warmed at his tone. Soft, teasing, warm, easy. Ariel reached for her boots. "I think I can survive it." Moments later, they stepped outside into the bright winter morning, carrying boxes together as snowflakes drifted lightly and the whole town shimmered like something out of a Christmas postcard. Beside her, Noah walked with an effortless calm, steady, warm, familiar. "Town hasn't changed much," he said softly. Ariel breathed in the crisp air. "I think I needed that." He glanced at her, a gentle curiosity in his eyes. "Needed what?" She hesitated, then smiled. "Something that feels like home." Noah's steps slowed for half a beat, just enough for her to notice, before he quietly said, "Yeah, I guess I know that feeling." They continued down the glowing, snow-lined street together, warmth settling between them, like the beginning of something new, and something old finding its way back. The walk to the community hall wasn't far, but with the snow falling and soft, steady flakes and Christmas decorations lining every inch of Main Street, it felt like strolling through a winter postcard. Ariel balanced 2 medium boxes in her arms, while Noah carried 3 with ease. He glanced down at her from time to time, making sure she wasn't struggling. "You okay with those?" he asked, voice warm, gentle. "I'm stronger than I look." She lifted her chin. "I remember." She exhaled a quiet laugh, soft, sweet. Surprised by how natural this all felt, walking beside him like they had a rhythm she hadn't realized she still carried inside her. People waved as they passed, neighbors brimming with holiday cheer. "Welcome home, Ariel! We missed you! Your mom told us you'd be here for Christmas." Their warmth chipped away at the guilt she'd been holding on to for years. At the corner, they passed the large town tree, a tall evergreen wrapped in golden lights, red ribbons, and shimmering ornaments. Children ran around it, laughing as they chased each other through the snow. Gentle laughter, distant. Ariel smiled. "I forgot how magical this place is during Christmas." Noah nodded. "It's not the same without you." She froze, just a tiny instinctive stop in her steps, surprised by the unexpected softness in his voice. He noticed it instantly, clearing his throat and adjusting one of the boxes. "I mean, your mom, she really missed you." "Right. Her mother." but something in the way he had said it made her wonder if that was the whole truth. They reached the small stone building of the community hall. A bright green wreath hung on the door, and through the windows they could see volunteers sorting toys, wrapping gifts, and baking cookies. "Smells amazing in there," Ariel said. "Mrs. Donovan brought cinnamon rolls," Noah replied, shaking his head with a smile. "She makes enough sugar to put the entire town to sleep." Ariel laughed. Warm, soft chuckle. "Sounds like something she'd do."
Noah pushed open the door for her, letting her step inside before him. The warmth hit them immediately, along with the scent of gingerbread and thyme. People inside greeted them with excitement. "Noah, you brought the packages! And look who's with him, Ariel Winters! It's been too long, sweetheart." Ariel set down her boxes and offered grateful smiles. The room buzzed with holiday spirit. Bright paper, bows, ribbons, cookie trays, Christmas carols playing softly through an old radio. She loved it. "Come in, Noah," Mrs. Donovan called from across the room, waving a spatula. "I don't believe it. You know the rule, no one enters without a cinnamon roll." Noah groaned playfully, shaking his head. "Ma'am, I'm trying to cut back." "Nonsense! Christmas calories don't count." Ariel laughed as Mrs. Donovan shoved a warm roll at Noah. "You try saying no to her," he murmured, taking a bite. "Oh, I wouldn't dare." For a moment they stood together in a pocket of quiet amid the bustle. Snow drifted outside the hall windows. Volunteers wrapped presents. Christmas music wove through the air. He brushed stray flour from his vest, evidence of Mrs. Donovan's enthusiasm, and Ariel found herself smiling again. He looked softer than she remembered, gentler, grounded. "Thanks for helping me this morning," he said. His voice was low, but without heaviness, just honesty. Ariel tilted her head. "How what would feel?" "Seeing you again," he answered simply. The warmth inside her chest deepened, slow, gentle, impossible to ignore. She didn't trust her voice at first. Then she said quietly, "Me either." He nodded. Eyes drifted toward the window where snowflakes tapped softly against the glass. "Funny thing is," he murmured, "it doesn't feel strange at all." Ariel took a slow breath. Neither did she. They were quiet again, not awkward, not tense, just present. Then Mrs. Donovan shouted across the hall, "Ariel, dear, would you mind helping Noah carry more boxes from the storage room? My back is shot." Ariel blinked. "More boxes?" Noah smirked. "Welcome home," he said softly. She playfully nudged his arm. "All right, lead the way." As they walked toward the back room together, Ariel caught a glimpse of their reflections in a window, side by side, moving in easy rhythm. The sight filled her with a warm, almost magical feeling she hadn't expected. Like maybe, some things really do find their way back when the snow begins to fall.
The hallway to the storage room was narrow and lined with old Christmas posters from past years, holiday markets, winter concerts, tree lighting ceremonies. Ariel brushed her fingers along the edges as they walked, each one bringing back memories she hadn't touched in a decade. Noah walked a step ahead of her, keys jingling lightly in his hand, the faint scent of cold air and pine still clinging to his coat. When he reached the old wooden door, he paused. "You ready?" he asked softly, half smiling. "For boxes?" she teased. I think I can handle it. He shook his head, a warm breath of a laugh escaping. No, I mean... He hesitated, then pushed the door open. For all this. The room was dim at first, but as Noah clicked on the single hanging bulb, a soft golden glow washed over stacks of decorations, boxes of ornaments, old wreaths, strings of tangled lights, and dusty Santa figurines leaning against each other like sleeping toys. Ariel blinked in surprise. Oh, wow. It's exactly like I remember. Yeah, Noah said, stepping inside. Some things don't change. Ariel followed him in, the door creaking softly behind her. Snow tapped lightly against the small high window, muffling the outside world and wrapping the room in a quiet, intimate stillness. She watched as Noah crouched beside a stack of boxes and lifted one effortlessly. You always make that look easy, she said, crossing her arms lightly. He glanced over his shoulder. You always say that. Because it's still true. He chuckled softly again, shaking his head. And you still talk too much when you're nervous. Ariel froze for a second, just a breath, then smiled softly. You still notice everything, she whispered. That changed the air between them. Just a little. Just enough. Noah cleared his throat and lifted another box, placing it close to the door. Ariel grabbed a smaller one, brushing snowflakes from its lid. This one's lighter, she said. That's because it's full of pillows, Noah replied, giving her a small smile. Mrs. Donovan insists we add a pillow to every family basket. Says comfort is a gift too. Ariel laughed softly. She's not wrong. As she stepped around a stack of empty crates, her boot slipped slightly on a loose patch of snow someone had tracked inside. Her hand shot out instinctively, and Noah caught her before she even had time to panic. One arm around her waist, the other steadying her elbow. A gentle, firm hold. Warm, secure, a little too familiar. Ariel's breath caught. Sorry, she whispered. I didn't see the snow. He didn't let go right away. No harm done, Noah murmured, voice low. You okay? She nodded slowly, feeling her pulse quicken gently in her chest. Yeah, I just forgot how slippery these floors get. He kept his hands on her for one more heartbeat, protective, steady, warm, and then carefully released her, stepping back with a soft exhale. Be careful, he said, rubbing the back of his neck in that quiet, shy way he always had. I will, she replied softly. For a moment, neither of them moved. There was only the soft glow of the hanging bulb, the faint music from the hallway, snow tapping against the window, and the quiet rhythm of two people remembering something they tried to forget. Noah finally reached for another box, but his voice held a softness that wasn't there before. You didn't slip like that when you lived here. She smiled gently. I was younger then. He looked at her, truly looked, not through her, not past her, but at her, like he was seeing something he'd buried years ago. Age doesn't change everything, he whispered. Ariel's breath grew warm in her chest, and before she could think of something light to say, something safe, someone called out from the hallway. Are you two still alive in there? Mrs. Donovan's voice, cheerful and dramatic.
Noah blinked out of whatever quiet moment he had been in and straightened up. Ariel pressed her hand to her heart, steadying herself. He grabbed 2 boxes, she grabbed one, and together they stepped out of the storage room. But something in the way they walked had changed. Softer, closer, almost in sync. Outside, snow continued falling gently over the town, as if the world itself was settling into the beginning of something warm.
The community hall buzzed with more people by the time they carried the next set of boxes inside. Volunteers had formed little clusters, some wrapping gifts, some taste-testing cookies, some hanging decorations with cheerful chaos. Ariel placed her box on a long table covered in red fabric. Someone turned up the music a little, a warm, jazzy Christmas tune filling the space. Noah set his boxes down and dusted snow from his shoulders. He glanced around with a calm, easy smile, the kind of smile that made Ariel's chest warm in a way she didn't expect. She said softly, watching a group of kids decorate ornaments, "Feels good to be back here." He nodded. "Town always comes alive this time of year." Mrs. Donovan swooped in like a Christmas whirlwind, holding a tray of hot chocolate. "Hot chocolate delivery," she sang. "Candy cane stirrers for everyone." Noah groaned softly, small, playful laugh. "I swear she feeds us more sugar than the bakery." Ariel accepted 2 cups, one for her, one for him, and handed Noah the second with a gentle smile. He accepted it. "Thank you." They found space near a decorated window, the snow outside glowing in the light of lampposts wrapped with greenery. Children played on the sidewalk. Couples carried shopping bags. Bells on shop doors chimed every few seconds. The town felt alive, full, and safe. Ariel took a slow sip, the peppermint cocoa warming her from the inside out. She said softly, "This is nice." Noah looked out the window. "It is." She turned toward him. "I forgot how simple things feel here." "You left in a hurry," he replied gently. Ariel blinked, not hurt, just surprised by the honesty. "I'm not wrong," she said quietly. He didn't answer first. Instead, he stirred his cocoa with the candy cane, thinking. "You know," he said after a moment, "people here always wondered why you left." Her heart squeezed. "Did you?" He met her eyes. "For a long time." She swallowed, suddenly aware of the heat behind her eyes. "I thought leaving was the right choice," she said, voice soft and steady. "I thought if I stayed, I'd get stuck, and I wanted something different, bigger, brighter." He nodded gently. "Nothing wrong with wanting more." "But I didn't say goodbye," she whispered. The air softened, thickened just a little. Noah's expression stayed warm, not accusing. "You were 18, he said. "You were allowed to be scared." Ariel exhaled, the tension in her shoulders easing. "Still," she whispered, "I hurt people." He tilted his head. "Including yourself." Ariel blinked, caught off guard by how deeply that landed. For a moment, they just stood there, 2 people who had once held an entire world between them,
now slowly stepping into the light of a second chance. Then Noah nodded toward the window. "Do you want to walk around for a bit? It's still snowing, and the lights look really good tonight." Ariel hesitated, not because she didn't want to, but because she did, deeply. "I'd like that," she said. His eyes softened, the most subtle smile pulling at the corner of his mouth. "All right," he said. "Let's go." Mrs. Donovan spotted them heading toward the door and lifted her spatula triumphantly. "Ah, a Christmas stroll! Bring me back some joy from the square." Ariel and Noah laughed, warm, natural laughter, as they stepped into the night. The cold air greeted them like an old friend, crisp, clean, filled with quiet holiday magic. They walked side by side, their footsteps leaving a matching pattern in the fresh snow. Lights twinkled overhead. Music drifted from the shops. The world shimmered with that special, gentle kind of Christmas wonder. Ariel tucked her hands into her pockets. "I forgot how peaceful it is here." Noah looked down at her, not with longing, not yet, but with something tender. Peaceful's easier to see when you're not trying to outrun something. She took in a slow breath. He was right, and she wasn't running anymore. As they passed under a canopy of lights, Ariel felt something inside her soften, open. Maybe Christmas really did have a way of stitching things back together, gently, quietly, one snowfall at a time. The town square glowed like a postcard, warm golden lights strung from rooftop to rooftop. Wreaths hung on every lamppost, and the giant Christmas tree in the center sparkled with ribbons and ornaments that shifted softly in the breeze. Ariel breathed in deeply. "You know, I used to stand right there," she said, nodding toward a small wooden bench near the fountain, "every year during tree lighting." Noah smiled softly. "You did. I remember that." She glanced up at him. "You watched me?" He shrugged lightly, not embarrassed, just honest. "It was hard not to. You were always the brightest thing out here." Ariel's breath caught, but the moment stayed soft, warm, alive. They reached the bench, now dusted with snow. Ariel brushed off a corner and sat down. Noah sat beside her, their shoulders almost touching. The tree sparkled in front of them, its lights reflecting in the snow. Ariel exhaled slowly. "I didn't think coming home would feel like this." "Like what?" Noah asked gently. She thought for a moment. "Like I'm picking up pieces I didn't know I left behind." He nodded, gaze fixed on the glowing branches. "Home will do that." They stayed quiet for a moment, letting the snowflakes melt softly on their coats. Then Noah spoke again, voice careful, honest. "You know, I thought I'd be angry when I saw you." Ariel turned, surprised. "But you weren't." "No, I wasn't." "Why not?" He hesitated, then gave the kind of answer that only came when someone had thought about it for years. "Because once I saw you standing there again, I realized I was just glad you were alive and okay." He looked down, almost shy. "And home." Something in Ariel's chest loosened, painfully, beautifully. She swallowed. "Noah." He looked up at her then, really looked at her. And for a breath, just one soft, fragile breath, she thought he might reach for her hand. thought he might say something he'd held inside for a decade, something she wasn't sure she deserved. But a child ran between them, dragging a tiny sled and laughing out loud, and the moment broke, light laughter drifting.
Noah blinked, clearing his throat, pulling back into himself gently. Ariel smiled, not disappointed, not exactly, but touched by the softness of what almost was. "Do you still volunteer at the holiday concert?" she asked, trying to shift the mood. He chuckled. "Mrs. Donovan won't let me quit. Says I have strong shoulders for lifting heavy boxes." Ariel laughed beautifully, softly, warm laugh. "That sounds like her." They stood up again, beginning to walk through the decorated square. Snowflakes drifted lightly. Lights shimmered overhead, and something between them, small, warm, slow burning, kept growing quietly. Ariel glanced up at him. "Noah?" "Yes?" "Thank you for not shutting the door on me." He gave her a look so gentle it almost hurt. "I never could, not with you." They walked on, their shoulders brushing softly now and then, the town glowing around them like it was holding its breath, waiting for whatever would happen next. The wind picked up just enough to make the lights above them sway softly. Noah pulled his coat closer as they walked toward the line of Christmas shops along the square. Warm little storefronts with frosted windows and handwritten signs. Ariel paused at one of them, a tiny store she remembered from childhood. Harrington's Holiday Gifts, the window glowing with red ribbons, ornaments, and hand-carved decorations. "Oh, wow," she whispered. "I used to come here with my mom every Christmas Eve." Noah smiled. "You bought that wooden snowflake she still hangs on the tree." Ariel laughed, soft, warm. "That thing is crooked." "That thing is sentimental," he corrected gently. They stepped inside, bells on the door chiming softly. Warm air wrapped around them instantly, scented with pine, cinnamon, and something sugary. Shelves were lined with ornaments, snow globes, knitted scarves, and handcrafted toys. Ariel brushed her fingers across a row of painted bells. "It looks exactly the same," she said softly. "It is," Noah replied. "Mr. Harrington refuses to change a thing, says Christmas shouldn't be reinvented every year." Ariel smiled. He has a point. As she wandered deeper into the shop, Noah stayed a few feet behind her, quiet, watchful, gentle. He wasn't hovering, but he was unmistakably there, like a steady, warm presence she had forgotten how much she missed. She picked up a small ornament, a glass star with gold edges. "Pretty," she murmured. "Very," Noah said softly. She turned and noticed he wasn't looking at the ornament. Heat warmed her cheeks. She set it down carefully, pretending not to notice the way her heart fluttered. A young girl tugged at her mother's sleeve nearby. "Mommy, look, it sparkles!" Her laughter filled the shop, soft and sweet. Ariel sighed, a smile forming. "I haven't felt this light in a long time." "No?" Noah's voice was soft, curious. She shook her head gently. "I forgot what life felt like when it slowed down."
He looked at her with something close to tenderness. "You were always running, even when we were kids." She blinked. "Running from what?" "Not sure," he said. "Maybe from yourself. Maybe toward something you didn't know how to name yet." His honesty landed warmly, not critically. Ariel inhaled slowly. "Maybe I was running from the fear of staying." He nodded, understanding in his eyes, deep, warm, and a little sad. "You ever think staying might have been the right choice, too?" Her breath caught. She had, more times than she wanted to admit. Ariel opened her mouth to respond, but Mr. Harrington suddenly appeared behind the counter with a booming voice. "Well, if it isn't Noah Carter, still rescuing the town one box at a time?" Noah laughed, warm, genuine. "Trying my best, sir." "And little Ariel Winters, look at you, home for the holidays at last." Ariel smiled softly. "Good to see you, Mr. Harrington." He winked. "Christmas heals everything, even old stories." Ariel and Noah exchanged a glance, quick, soft, loaded with meaning. Mr. Harrington handed them each a small candy cane. "On the house, for courage." Ariel raised a brow. "Courage for what?" He shrugged with a knowing smile. "Oh, who knows? Christmas tends to reveal what people hide all year long." Noah coughed lightly, almost embarrassed. Ariel tried not to smile too wide. As they stepped back outside, snow drifting around them like shimmering powder, Ariel tucked the candy cane into her pocket. "That man knows too much," Noah muttered. Ariel laughed, gentle, warm. She always did. They stood in the falling snow for a moment, close enough that their breath mingled in the cold air. "Noah?" she said softly. "Yes?" She hesitated, the kind of hesitation that happens when truth presses against the back of the throat. "I missed this. All of it. You included." His eyes softened, slowly, deeply, and he let out a quiet breath he seemed to have been holding for years. "Ariel," he said, voice low and warm, "you have no idea." The air shifted, just a little, like the whole town was holding its breath for them. But before anything else could be said, a gust of wind blew a swirl of snow between them, playful and bright. Ariel laughed and pulled her coat tight. "Come on," she said. "My mom will think we got lost." Noah smiled, full, warm, the kind she remembered. "All right, let's get you home." They began walking back through the glowing Christmas town, their steps matching again, their hearts drifting closer with each breath.
By the time Ariel and Noah reached her mother's house, the sky had deepened into a soft indigo, and the Christmas lights along the street glowed even brighter. Reds, greens, and warm golds shimmering across the fresh snow. Ariel paused on the porch steps, taking in the night, the way the lights reflected in the snow, the soft music drifting from a nearby window, the faint smell of pine and gingerbread in the air. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Noah stood beside her, his voice low and warm. "It always looked like this, every year. Maybe I just forgot." Ariel's breath created a small cloud in the cold air. "Or maybe," Noah said gently, "you weren't ready to see it." Ariel turned toward him, surprised by how deeply his words landed. Inside,
Her mother's silhouette passed by the living room window, fussing with decorations she shouldn't be lifting with her shoulder injury. Ariel sighed, smiling softly. "She never stops," Ariel said. "That's where you get it from," Noah teased lightly. Ariel nudged him with her elbow. "Are you saying I'm stubborn?" "Not stubborn." His smile widened. "Determined." Ariel couldn't help it. She laughed. Soft, warm laugh. They stood there for a moment, letting the quiet settle between them. Snow drifted lazily from the sky, catching in Ariel's hair and on Noah's coat. Then Noah shifted slightly, his breath moving in a soft cloud in front of him. "I want to ask you something," he said. Ariel felt her heart lift gently in her chest. "Okay," she murmured. He looked down at his gloves, brushing a bit of snow from the cuff, as though trying to gather his thoughts. "When you left, I told myself you were gone for good, that you had outgrown this place, outgrown us." Ariel swallowed. "Noah." He shook his head gently, not to stop her, but to keep the moment steady. "I made peace with it. Or at least, I thought I did." The porch light above them flickered softly, casting a warm glow over the snow-dusted railings. Ariel's breath slowed. "What changed?" she asked quietly. Noah lifted his eyes to hers, and this time there was no wall behind them, only honesty and history and something fragile and warm. "You came back," he said simply, "and I realized the part of me that missed you never really stopped." Ariel's breath caught. Warmth spread through her chest, soft, overwhelming, sweet. She reached for the railing, grounding herself. "I didn't know anyone missed me." Noah gave a soft, gentle smile. "That's the thing, Ariel. People don't stop caring just because someone leaves." She blinked, feeling the sting of tears, not sadness, but something like healing. "Noah, I'm sorry," she whispered, voice trembling slightly. "I'm sorry I hurt you. I'm sorry I disappeared. I'm sorry I didn't know how to stay."
He stepped closer, not touching her, but close enough for her to feel the warmth of him despite the cold night. "You're here now," he said softly. "That's enough for me." Ariel felt a soft laugh leave her, the kind that comes when relief meets vulnerability. "I didn't expect this," she whispered. "No one ever does," he murmured. Through the window, they could see her mother adjusting ornaments she shouldn't be adjusting. Ariel smiled through her emotions. "She's going to yell at us if we stay out here much longer," she whispered. Noah chuckled, the sound deep and warm. "Probably." Ariel turned toward the door, hand on the handle, but paused. "Noah?" She lifted his eyes. "Yes?" She hesitated, the kind of hesitation full of hope, quiet bravery, and something blooming beneath the surface. "Would you stay for dinner?"
His face softened slowly, beautifully. "I'd like that," he said. Ariel opened the door, warm air spilling into the night, and for the first time in years, walking into her mother's house didn't feel like stepping backward. It felt like stepping towards something new, something warm, something gentle, something she didn't know she still wanted. And Noah followed her inside, quietly, gratefully, as the snow continued to fall over the glowing Christmas town.
The house felt even cozier when Ariel and Noah stepped inside. A mixture of oven heat, Christmas spices, and the soft glow of twinkling lights that wrapped the living room in warmth. Her mother looked up from the couch, a blanket draped over her legs, a mug of tea steaming beside her. "Well now," she said with a playful smile, "look who finally came back from their adventure." Ariel rolled her eyes gently. "We were helping," she said. "I'm sure you were." Her mother winked. Noah rubbed the back of his neck, chuckling. "Sorry we're late. Mrs. Donovan kept us talking." "Mrs. Donovan keeps everyone talking. That woman could chat with a snowman." Ariel laughed softly, hanging her coat. "I believe that." The kitchen smelled wonderful. Roasted vegetables, fresh bread, and the hint of something sweet that Ariel couldn't quite place. "You cooked?" Ariel asked, widening her eyes. Our mother pretended to look offended. "Of course I cooked. I'm injured, not helpless." Ariel gave her a look. "You're supposed to be resting." "I did rest. Then I got bored and hungry." Noah smiled at the exchange, the warmth of it, the familiarity. "Can I help with anything?" he asked. "You can take those rolls out of the oven, but don't burn your fingers. I'm too tired to drive anyone to the clinic." Noah laughed, soft, warm laugh, and stepped into the kitchen. Ariel quietly followed him, leaning against the counter as he grabbed a towel and opened the oven. "Smells amazing," he said. Ariel watched him, the ease in his movements, the comfort he felt in this house, like he belonged here, like he had always belonged here. He set the rolls on the stove and glanced at her. "What?" he asked gently. She blinked, startled. "Nothing?" "No," he said softly, a smile tugging at his lips. "You were looking at me." She felt her cheeks warm. "I was thinking." "About?" She hesitated, then spoke honestly. "About how natural this feels." Noah's smile softened, warm, slow, a little breathless. "It feels natural to me too." Her heart fluttered, quietly, deeply.
Before she could say anything else, her mother called from the living room. "Ariel, sweetheart, come fix this ribbon. It keeps falling off the tree and I refuse to let Christmas win." Ariel sighed, hiding a smile. "I'll be right back." She started to leave, but Noah's voice stopped her softly. "Ariel?" She turned. "Yeah?" He seemed to choose his words carefully, not wanting to push too far, but wanting to be honest. "I'm glad you asked me to stay," he said. "It's been a long time since Christmas felt this warm." Her breath caught. "Mine too," she whispered. Their eyes held, just for a beat. Then her mother called again louder. "Ariel, the ribbon is mocking me." Ariel laughed, soft, sweet laugh. "I'm coming, Mom." She hurried into the living room. Noah watched her go, and something like hope lit gently behind his eyes. Dinner was warm, lively, and full of small, soft moments. Ariel's mother told stories, some exaggerated for effect, making both Ariel and Noah laugh more than once. Gentle laughter. Ariel moved around the kitchen like she had never left. Noah helped quietly, passing dishes, refilling water, stealing small glances at her when she didn't notice. When the meal was done, her mother leaned back in her chair. "This," she said contentedly, "is what Christmas should feel like." Ariel smiled softly. "Yeah, it is." Her mother's eyes twinkled with mischief. "And you two, you look good sitting at the same table again." Both Ariel and Noah froze for a beat. Ariel coughed lightly. "Mom." "What?" her mother asked, feigning innocence. "I didn't say anything." Noah shook his head with a shy smile. Quiet laugh. Ariel reached for the dishes to avoid the moment, but Noah touched her wrist lightly. "I got them," he said softly. Their eyes met. A small spark, warm, gentle, passed between them. Ariel released the dish. "Okay." Later, after the plates were washed and the lights turned low, Ariel walked Noah to the door. The porch was quiet, snow falling in slow, steady flakes. The world felt softer, calmer, as if the night itself was holding them in a gentle embrace. "Thank you for dinner," Noah said. "It meant a lot." Ariel's voice was a whisper. "I'm glad you came." They stood there, a moment, close enough to feel each other's warmth, close enough to notice when a snowflake landed on the other's coat. Noah hesitated, then said something that made her heart stop softly in her chest. "Tonight reminded me that some things don't fade, not really." Ariel exhaled, breath turning to mist in the cold air. "Noah." He stepped back gently, not rejecting the moment, just keeping it steady. "Good night, Ariel." "Good night." He walked down the snowy path, footsteps slow, shoulders relaxed, and Ariel stood there watching him disappear into the warm glow of Christmas lights, her heart full of something she hadn't let herself feel in 10 years. Hope. Soft, quiet, and growing stronger with every snowfall.
Ariel woke to the softest light. Pale winter sun slipping through the curtains, brushing the room in gentle gold. The house was still, warm, quiet, except for the faint hum of the heater and the distant bells from the church downtown. For a moment she just lay there, breathing, warm under the blankets, feeling something inside her she hadn't in a very long time. Peace. When she finally got up, her mother was already in the living room, wrapped in a thick blanket, watching the snow fall through the window. "Merry Christmas, sweetheart," her mother said softly. "Merry Christmas, Mom." They spent the morning opening small gifts, nothing extravagant, just warm socks and a scented candle and a little framed picture Ariel had found in the hall last night of her as a child building a snowman with her mother. Her mother wiped a tear, smiling. "I'm so glad you're home." "I am too," Ariel whispered. Snow drifted outside like tiny falling stars. They were finishing cocoa when there came a knock at the door, gentle, familiar.
Ariel felt her heart flutter. Her mother raised her eyebrows with a teasing smile. "A visitor?" Ariel shook her head, but her smile gave her away as she walked to the door. She opened it slowly. Noah stood on the porch, bundled in a dark winter coat, snow dusting his curls again. He held a thermos in one hand and a small wrapped package in the other. "Merry Christmas," he said softly. Ariel's smile warmed immediately. "Merry Christmas." She stepped aside. "Come in before you freeze." He entered, offering her mother the thermos. "Peppermint cocoa, your favorite. Thought I'd drop some off." Her mother beamed. "Oh, you're spoiling me, Noah Carter." He laughed, warm, gentle. Ariel watched him, the way he moved through the room like he had been stepping inside this home his whole life, the way warmth followed him. Her mother winked at Ariel. "I'll give you a minute," and she disappeared into the hallway with suspicious speed. Ariel rolled her eyes, smiling. "She's subtle." "Extremely," Noah teased. They stood in the glow of the Christmas tree, red, gold, and silver lights dancing softly across the room. Outside, the world was covered in fresh snow. Noah held out the small wrapped gift. "I didn't know if I should bring this, but I wanted to." Ariel accepted it slowly. "What is it?" "Just something little." She unwrapped it carefully and froze when she saw what was inside. A tiny wooden snowflake ornament, hand-carved, shiny from fresh polish, almost identical to the one she bought as a little girl. She looked up, eyes softening. "You made this?" He nodded, suddenly a little shy. "I started carving again. Helps me stay calm." "It's beautiful, Noah," she whispered. "Really beautiful." He swallowed, voice low. "I wanted you to have something that belonged here, something that didn't change." She held it to her chest, the weight of it small but meaningful. "Thank you," she said, voice trembling with warmth. Silence settled, not empty, but full. "Ariel," he began quietly, "I need to tell you something before this day gets away from me." Her heart thudded softly. "Okay," she said. He took a slow breath, his words gentle and careful. "I'm not asking for anything. I'm not expecting anything. But I need you to know I never stopped caring about you. Not once. Even when you were gone." Ariel's breath caught. He continued, voice steady but full of warmth. "I don't want to pretend we can undo the past. But if you're here, if you're really here, I'd like the chance to know you again, as you are now. Not who you were, not who I was. Just us, as people who grew up and still, somehow, found each other." Ariel felt a soft wave of emotion rise in her chest, warm, gentle, almost overwhelming in the most beautiful way. "Ariel," she whispered, "I didn't come home expecting this, but now that I'm here, I think I want that too." His shoulders released the tension he'd carried for years. "Yeah?" he asked quietly. "Yeah," she breathed. They stood there, close enough for their arms to brush, close enough to feel the warmth rising between them like the sun through winter clouds. Snow tapped softly against the window. The Christmas tree lights flickered gently. And then, softly, respectfully, Noah reached out his hand. "Walk with me?" he asked. Ariel slipped her hand into his, her voice warm and sure. "I'd love to." He squeezed her hand gently, a quiet promise. They stepped outside into the Christmas morning snow, the world around them glowing with fresh white light. Their footprints blended as they walked down the quiet street, side by side, hearts at ease, and the past softened by forgiveness. And for the first time in 10 years, Ariel didn't feel like she was running. She felt like she was home.